as you do what we say. Don't hurt them, I'm coming. On the table, that was my half of the deal. In the briefcase, now we need 2 million we know who you're working for. Just say the word and MI5 break down the door. Don't trust him, he's bluffing. On the table, that was my half of the deal. In the briefcase, now we need 2 million more. Sky is falling. Here come the angels dressed in black. It's not quite clear who will live and who shall on the table, that was my half of the deal. In the briefcase, now we need 2 million more. On the table, that was my half of the deal. In the briefcase, now we need 2 million more.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another live stream. Tuesday. I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. Thank you everyone for joining me. Let's get you up on screen and see who is in the live chat room tonight. So, hello, Beverly and Brian and Jennifer, Neil, Robert, Beverly. Did I just say that? And Patty, Jennifer. Wipeout, Susan and Dennis are in the house, and Vince is in there as well. Lisa, Tortoro Porco. Hello, guys, and thank you for joining me. So, we kicked off with a little bit of Percy Johnson there, the unluckiest guy ever. He always finds himself in that situation. But a big thank you to Orlando for requesting that over on Patreon, and that is why we started with that tonight, having mentioned the patrons and Patreon. Let's get them up on screen as well. They always go across the bottom of the screen during these live streams. So, a big thank you to these guys, because they make this possible, every single video that I do on the channel possible as well, and the live analysis videos, just everything. So, having just mentioned the live analysis videos, I do those on Wednesday night, and tomorrow night I haven't yet decided, or more accurately had time to get into what I'm going to be doing tomorrow night for the live analysis. So I thought that I'd throw it out there tonight, maybe in the live stream, if you guys have a particular artist or band that you want me to look at tomorrow night. It tends to be a little bit different on the live analysis videos because I'm a little bit governed by copyrights with what you can stream and what you can't stream. So if there are a few ideas for videos, then I'll take a look at those after this live stream, and then maybe set up the event later on tonight. And it is something that I do after the live streams. I then get stuck into the live analysis and having a look at the video that we're going to be looking at tomorrow night. So I'll throw that out into the chat room. If anybody's got any suggestions, that would be much appreciated. And we have had a little bit of action in the super chat window, but I'll get that up on screen. There was a donation before Lucy donated, and I think that was Orlando, but I will change the screen and go back into my YouTube Studio Manager software in order to find exactly what that was, but I suspect it was Orlando with his early donation that he usually gets in there. So I might jump into that now without wasting any time, because then I can get things up to date so that everything that you see on screen is when it was. So Orlando did donate $2. Thank you for that, Orlando. And the message was, spike the lights, yeah, with lots of rock horns. So thank you for that, Orlando. And a great idea as well. Let's see if we can get the likes up on screen. It always moves whenever I start the live stream, which is a little bit frustrating, but it's just something that we have to deal with. And I do sometimes try and adjust it live on the air, and let's see if we can do that today as well. Grab it and drag it. There we go. It is 115, and you can see my little mouse indicator there to show what's going on. So 117 already. Thank you guys for hitting that thumbs up. If you can do that, it'd be much appreciated. We are aiming for, from memory, 365 tonight. Let's have a look. There it is. So that means that the Pick Roulette likes is set at 370 tonight. So we will see again monster targets here. And last Tuesday we didn't hit the target, so it means that there's going to be no Pick Roulette tonight. But we can still try and make sure there is one next week. And this is the thing, we just have to keep on hitting that thumbs up and see how high we can get with those likes and the likeometer. So if you can do that, it'd be much appreciated. But let me jump into the super chat window again, and I'm just going to get rid of the live likes so that I can go back to the other screen to make sure that Orlando was the first and the most up-to-date donation that we had before Lucy then came in. So let me do a quick refresh on that, because I don't want to miss anybody out. And we are okay. So thank you, Lucy, for donating $4.99 as well. And let me get that likeometer back up on screen so we can keep track and just keep a track of everything going on. And Lucy says, howdy Phil, fellow wingers and new wingers, spike the likes y'all with a thumbs up, some rock horns, a heart, and peace. So thank you for that, Lucy. And Tortoro Porco has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that. The message is, Percy Johnson is so good, it deserves a sequel follow-up song. So thank you for that. And you never know, maybe one day we'll find out the ending to that story. And Wang Fuzi has just jumped in with a $5 donation. Thank you so much for that. And the message is, I would love to see you work with Genesis and Peter Gabriel. They were magical back in the day. So thank you for that suggestion and request, and the donation as well. So just to keep you guys up to date with everything merch-wise, I did post this on Patreon last night to all of you guys who are involved over there. Thank you for all of your support. But I also let you guys know that we have caps now in the merch store and over on Teespring, which is now actually just called Spring. But never fear, because I have included the link to the Wings of Pegasus store in the description of this video, this live stream, so you should be able to at least copy and paste that into a browser, or you might be able to click on it. I don't know, because I can't access it because I'm doing the live stream. I'm not watching the live stream, so I can't see what it looks like in the description, but that should take you straight through to the store. And there are new caps there. And if you do see the tray underneath this video, you should be able to see the caps there and the new zipped hoodie. So the first two items are the newest items of merchandise that are available. So you can get your hands on some caps, and there's lots of different designs and different pictures of all these different things. So you can just have, I say all these different things, they're just the hats in different colours, which I did show. Let me see if I can try and get these from the previous live stream that I did. We had the Wings of Pegasus pink hat, which should be up on screen now. So that was one design. We also had the pink logo in the other design type cap. These are called dad caps. And I'm not sure why, I'm not really up to date with why caps are called certain caps, but these are the kind of caps that I prefer to wear. I don't know why, and I'm not a dad, so no answer for that or to that. And here we have the red cap, which I am a fan of, and I think that I'm just going to end up probably buying every single one of these. But we have also the black cap with the red logo, and what else do we have? And the dad cap, that's the black one with the red logo as well. And you'll also see the zip up hoodies on there as well. That'll be looking like this with the Wings of Pegasus logo, and it's on the back as well. So all of that fun stuff that you guys can go and check out over on Teespring, which is actually just called Spring now. But I hope you guys enjoy that. It's taken me a while to get that all organised, but certainly the zipped hoodies, as you can see, I'm a big fan of, so I've wanted to get those up on the store for a while, but also the caps. I used to wear the caps quite a lot, and just caps of various makes. I haven't had a Wings of Pegasus cap until now, unfortunately, and even still, I'm going to have to wait for it to get delivered because it's going to take a very long time to deliver here in the UK. Unfortunately, everybody's still on lockdown, which means nobody's going outside, and also I am merched up with my Wings of Pegasus t-shirt tonight. I just remembered that I put it on. You can grab that again, same store. Just click on that link in the description below, and it should also be in the tray underneath this live stream, but also underneath all of the videos on the channel, so you'll be able to go there to find it. But like I said, it's something that I've been wanting to get organised for a while, and hopefully it'll arrive here soon. Quick update as to the lockdown situation here in the UK. We are currently locked down, and we have been for about 6 weeks, something like that. And we've just found out that we will be in lockdown until the end of next month. So the first time that I'm going to be able to have a haircut is the 12th of April, which happens to be my birthday. And what a great birthday gift that will be. Not that I'll be able to book it for that day, because my hairdresser will be massively overbooked. So it means that we are going to be having some crazy hair going on over the next, 5 weeks? Something like that. Is already crazy. It's already well too long, but we've got another 5 or 6 weeks worth of growth, which is gonna probably end up to have my hair down to about here, maybe, or even longer. So we will see. Stay tuned on the live streams and the analysis videos to see the ever-changing story of the length of my hair. But anyway, let's get back into that super chat window. There have been a few more donations. Thank you guys, by the way, for hitting these thumbs up. It's much appreciated. But let's move over here, and I'm going to have to scroll up a bit. I don't actually have the little scroller thing that is at the side. I don't know why that is, but let's click the arrows to go up. It's very 1990s to do that. But anyway, thank you, Stan, who has donated $3. Thank you for that, Stan. And that is the guy saying fist pump. I think that says, or fist bump. It's very small, but thank you, Stan, for that donation. And Deborah has donated $10 as well. Thank you for that, Deborah. And the message is, I am looking at buying a guitar and am leaning toward an acoustic. Any thoughts about a decent / good brand model for a person with small hands? So thank you for that, Deborah. And pretty much, I mean, acoustics are going to be the same. It depends. You're pretty much going to get the same amount of wood behind the neck. You don't get guitars in different sizes unless you go for a 3/4 size guitar or a half size guitar, which tend to be for kids when they're starting to play, but every full size guitar is just the same size. So if you're talking about it from that perspective, you're just going to have to get a full size guitar. But the amount of wood behind the neck is something that can make it slightly easier to play, and I would say that pretty much entry-level Tanglewoods are very good guitars. I've got 2 of those acoustic guitars, so that's probably a good sign that I like the feel of them. They do tend to have a little bit more cutaway behind the neck than a lot of other entry-level guitars, so it's slightly easier. I would say when you are starting to play acoustic guitar, start out with 10 gauge strings, so they're going to be a little bit lighter on your fingers, which means that you're not going to have as much pain and you can play a little bit more. You're always, depending on how many hours you play a day, you're going to have to take breaks quite regularly just to make sure that your fingers recover a bit and don't hurt too much. But that is what I would say. Just any entry-level Tanglewood, you can have a look around, and it's just something that I always say about going into a shop. Not that you can do that in lockdown here in the UK, but if you can get your hands on the guitar and just play it a little bit, then that's probably going to be the best course of action in order for you to find a guitar that you like the feel of and that you like the size and that you can get your fingers around it. It tends to be the case that in the shops they do string the guitars up with heavier gauge strings, so you'll have to take those off and just restring it in order to make it a little bit easier to play. But that's what I would go for and what I do tend to suggest for beginner guitarists who are looking at buying a new acoustic guitar. And then you can start looking at different makes, and depending on how much you want to spend, and the guitar, a Maton behind me, that is going to be a lot of money, but you really do get what you pay for when you're talking about Maton guitars. And by the way, everybody knows by now that is Mario's guitar behind me, the Maton, and also the Gem, which we can see. So a big thank you to Mario for sending me those 2 guitars. But Tanglewood is what I'd go for straight off the bat as a beginner. And I'm trying to think if any other ones pop into my mind, but I can't really think of anything for playability, cost, and just being really convenient for a first acoustic guitar. The fact that you can get a semi-acoustic guitar as well, which means that you can plug it into an amp, and that therefore gives you the option to go into a DAW or an interface in your computer so that you can record yourself playing and get a signal that way, rather than having to set up a microphone and get it over the sound hole and all that kind of stuff. So it's good for going out and playing. If you're thinking of doing open mic nights, you might not be thinking of that, but it gives you the option to plug in, whereas some other acoustics that are just basic acoustic, you're not going to get that, obviously, whereas a semi-acoustic Tanglewood, we'll be able to do that. So anyway, I don't want to spend too long talking about it, but thank you, Deborah, for that donation. A lot of people like Martin guitars as well, so it's just down to your personal preference. If you can get your hands on the guitar, you might play a Tanglewood and think, oh, it's not quite the right feel for me, or it feels like it's a little bit too much of a strain on my hand or my wrist, and then you might play a Martin and you think it's great, then obviously go for the Martin. But anyway, it's all about personal preference because everybody's different, and you might find that your hand prefers one guitar depending on your own personal anatomy, the physiology, the size of your hands. So thank you for that, Deborah. And JMP816 has donated $10. Thank you for that. And I'm going to have to scroll down with the buttons again, and I've gone too far, but thank you for that $10 donation. The message is, today Johnny Winter would have been 77 years old. Some people say rest in peace. I say I hope he's making that guitar sing for a lucky audience out there somewhere. So thank you for that donation. And this is the thing, that there's probably quite a lot of good gigs going on. Whatever happens after this life, there's quite a few entertainers and legendary musicians that could put on quite a gig. But thank you for that message, and indeed it's something that a lot of people say rest in peace, but the great thing about the top musicians is that their music will just live on forever and ever and ever. And thankfully now on YouTube we've got access to live performance videos and video footage of all of these fantastic artists that we can literally just load up at the touch of a button, which is amazing. But thank you for that donation. And Lucy has donated $4.99. Thank you so much for that, Lucy. And the message is, today would have been Steve Priest's 73rd birthday. May he rest in peace. With, I think that's a dove there as well. So thank you for that, Lucy. And Laura has donated $4.99. Thank you for that. The message is, golf question. Did you hear about Tiger Woods' car wreck, multiple broken bones? So thank you for that, Laura. And this is only something that I read while I was setting up this live stream, because I think it was Jennifer who said something about it in the chat room really early on. So I saw that and then just had a very quick look, only for maybe 30 seconds. But it looks like he rolled his car and was probably going quite fast. And they said that maybe there weren't any skid marks or something. So I don't know the story behind it, so I can't really shed any light on it, but it does sound like it was a serious car accident. And yeah, multiple broken bones is not something that you want as a professional sports person, but fingers crossed he's going to be okay. And yeah, I'm sure the story will evolve, because it's, I think, something that's only recently just been reported. But thank you for that, Laura. And Soto has donated $10. Thank you for that. And it's a straight up donation. And Orlando has donated $5 as well. Again, thank you for that, Orlando. The message is, Tiger Woods was conscious and spoke with police at the crash site. His injuries are not life-threatening and he is expected to recover. So that's good news, and thank you for that update, Orlando. This might be something that we get regular updates about, and fortunately it's great that he was conscious. That is a huge thing. If people are unconscious, then it's a much more dangerous situation. But I think I heard as well, or I read, that he was having surgery on his leg or something like that as well. But he's one of those players that has had back problems over the years as well. With his golf swing is just like so powerful because of the way that he can hit that ball. I'm not surprised that he then has back problems because of literally doing that multiple hours a day. Just imagine just doing that swing so many times. I mean, I play a little bit of golf, and fortunately I don't play at the level where I need to practice 6 hours a day. I haven't got that kind of time, but yeah, I very much swing the club in a very economical way, a way that I'm not going to injure myself doing. It's only when messing around with golf carts that I injure myself squashing fingers. But anyway, thank you, Orlando, for that. And Rob has donated $10 as well. Thank you for that, Rob. And it looks like that is a straight up donation. I am trying to scroll down, but it's something that unfortunately I can't control with the thing at the right hand side of the screen. But what I'm going to do is reorganize that while we play a video. And like I said in the beginning of the live stream, if you guys have got any ideas or suggestions about maybe a video performance for tomorrow night's live analysis, that would be great, because I haven't had a chance to look into any of that yet, and it might be good just to get a suggestion and do that tomorrow night, because the copyrights on the live analysis videos are slightly different, so I'm a little bit restricted as to what I can look at. So it'd be great to have just a few suggestions at once that I can have a look at, and then just maybe have a little bit of a judgment as to what I think will go through and what will be okay and what won't get blocked on the live analysis. So we will see what happens. But thank you, Carl, as well, who has just dropped in with a $5 donation. And the message is, hopefully, Cross the Pond can happen soon. Please, everyone, stay healthy. We need all wingers to do so. So thank you for that, Carl. And I'm hoping that as well, that we can get the Cross the Pond happening at some point. It's another thing that's been reported today in the news about maybe having to have the vaccine in order to travel, or have it on your passport. It's certainly something that in this country, I think most people are getting vaccinated, but some people are being offered it and aren't getting vaccinated, which of course, is going to be a little bit more of an issue. And if you're not vaccinated, I know that here, I'm not sure which one it is, but there's one of the vaccinations that you can have which then protects you by 85% after the first dose, and then it goes up to over 90%. It might even be 95% after the second dose. So really effective vaccines that are being given out, and I think that's a huge part of now the numbers becoming a little bit more under control. Obviously, we're in lockdown as well, so a lot of people aren't going out, and we will be having that for another 5 weeks, something like that. So we'll all be locked away for another 5 weeks, but the numbers are coming down dramatically. So hopefully by that 5 week time, a lot more people would have been vaccinated, and it'll be a lot safer to get out there and start to returning to relative normality. That's what everyone's hoping for, but we will see. So we are going to be pushing on with the live stream. It's almost midnight here in the UK. We are at 176 likes so far, so thank you everyone for hitting that thumbs up. And the Tuesday crew are the crew that we're going to be relying on in order to get these thumbs up, and it is going to be a lot harder for the Tuesday crew because of the fact it is a Tuesday. And I think the last week as well, it might still even be the case that we have a lot of adverse weather conditions, people not having any electricity and all of those kind of things. So very difficult, especially for those people, and also for the live stream to get that thumbs up. If people are struggling with electricity, then it's really important just to try and sort that out first and not worry about the whole live stream thing. But for those that do attend and hit that thumbs up, thank you guys so much. It is much appreciated. It really helps the channel to grow, and for these live streams to get out there, the videos to get out there, but also for people to subscribe and to reach more people. So 164,000 subscribers we've now passed, which is amazing. And yeah, it's just great to have so many people to do these live streams too. So thank you for that. While I'm talking about milestones, we have had our 400th member of the Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook. So a massive thank you to you guys for getting involved and joining up over there, and to Laura as well, who let me know that the 400th person has now come through the doors there. And it's great as well, considering the fact that I'm not sure how long ago it was, but we had the whole hacker situation where somebody got onto that page and were impersonating me, and then deleted literally, I think, everybody pretty much, and then blocked everybody from then rejoining that Facebook group. So I think it got to about, I don't know, over 200, something like that, and then it went all the way down again. People had to rejoin, and then we had to wait 4 weeks in order to change the name of that Facebook group. So thank you guys for all of your patience throughout that, and for Vince on there as well. He's an active user and also an active poster on there, and Laura as well. Just you guys for organising the Wings of Pegasus supporters group on Facebook and giving everybody a place to upload their pictures to. And we will be looking at a couple of pictures later on in this live stream, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, the 400th person, welcome everybody to not only the live streams but that page over on Facebook, and it is where a lot of the live chat room hang out in between live streams. So make sure that you check that out if you do get a chance. If you haven't joined that group, you can do. Just click on the join and you will be allowed to get involved in that Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook. But thank you guys so much for that. And 197, it looks like we're almost at the 200 likes mark. I never really keep a track of where we get to with the likes and what the time is, and I know that it's just literally gone to midnight here in the UK, and we are almost at 200. I'm gonna have to try and remember that 200 is a good place to be at half an hour into the live stream, so maybe in the future we can try and beat that target of half an hour and 200 likes, even though we've got another 2 people in order to get to 200. There's lots of 2s going on. We're looking for 2 people to get to 200. We'll see if those people do turn up. So let's get on with this live stream with the videos as well, because we've had a few requests over on Patreon. Thank you guys so much for these. And I can see that we've had a few more donations in the super chat window, which I will address in a second. But we want to have a little look down the Patreon list here, and we did have a few requests for, at least a couple of requests for Silence is Broken by Damn Yankees, my cover of that song, and that is what we will be having a look at in a second. But before we do, and thank you by the way, that was Joan, who was right at the bottom of the page there, Melissa as well, requesting Silence is Broken, and Donna threw a request in there for that as well. So thank you guys for requesting that particular song, and my cover of that song we will be having a listen to in a second. But thank you as well to Lucy again, who has donated $14.99, and the message is: for the Cross the Pond Fund, Wingerstock, Phil Estival, or Phil Alpaloza. Hopefully it'll happen soon. Looking forward to seeing live music. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay sane, everyone with a heart. So thank you for that, Lucy. And I'm sure everyone in that live chat room echoes those sentiments, and everybody just stay as healthy as possible, and hopefully things will move forward relatively quickly from now on, especially with the vaccine thing, and hopefully, fingers crossed, people just taking care, wearing masks, doing all of that sensible stuff. But also thank you to Huck, who has donated $4.99, and the message is: thanks for all you do. So no problem. It's just what I do on the channel, and all of you guys who have requested videos, thank you for doing that as well, because it gives me lots of videos to have a look at. And the live analysis video, make sure that while the videos are playing, if you want to throw in any suggestions in the live chat room, I'll keep an eye out for those while the videos play, so then I can make a note of them, and we'll have a little bit of a choice as to what we'll look at tomorrow night live. And if you want to join me, I'll be doing it at the same time that I do these live streams, but tomorrow will be the live analysis. So make sure that you tune in for that. If you can make it, it'll be much appreciated. And Terry has donated $5 as well, and it's a straight up donation. So thank you for that, Terry. So we are going to be jumping into this cover video. It's going to be my version of Silence is Broken by Damn Yankees. I hope you guys enjoy this. I will be in the live chat room while this is playing, so if you can make some suggestions, that would be great for a band or artist to have a look at tomorrow night, and then I'll see after tonight's live stream which one of those is going to be suitable from a copyright perspective. But also, Lucy has donated $4.99. Thank you for that. And the message is: to new wingers, Phil won't see your analysis request here in the stream. Please post a comment on the video. He will add to his list. Thanks. So thank you for that, Lucy. So I will be looking into the live chat room while the videos are playing, because I can then do that, and I don't have to focus on the screen and juggling lots of things around. So I can make a note of them just on my phone. That's what I tend to do. And if you do want to comment on the live stream afterwards in the comment section, then you can do that as well. I'm not sure that's possible during the live stream because it then goes into the live chat. But as soon as the live stream finishes, any comment then turns into a comment underneath the video, because you're not watching live, and it's impossible to obviously comment in the live chat room because you won't be watching live. But anyway, it's something that a few people do get confused with. So if you want to put a suggestion of any artist or band in the video or in the live stream comment section after this video, if you're watching this on catch up, then that would be good as well. But thank you, Lucy, for that donation and for mentioning the comment section as well. And Marge has donated $2 as well. Thank you for that, Marge, and it's a straight up donation. We are going to be jumping into this video now, so I hope you guys enjoy this. By the way, thank you for hitting that thumbs up. We're at 216 and counting, which is great. And if you do enjoy this live stream or this video, then please give it a thumbs up, and we'll see where we end at the end of the evening. It's 365 that we're aiming for. 370 is what we're aiming for the pick roulette. We will see how we get on, but I will see you guys after this. Quick fact, even though I introduced the video saying this, This was my first ever cover video on Patreon. So I am very young in this video, as you'll be able to tell, and I do have normal hair rather than having about 12 weeks of lockdown style hair. I should have got a haircut on, I think, the day or the week of us going into lockdown. So I'm going to have a lot of haircuts due because my hair's getting very long. Anyway, let's stop blabbering on about it and let's get into it, and I'll see you guys after this. Rock! Hi guys, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and this is my first ever cover video on Patreon. The song is Silence is Broken by Damn Yankees, and thanks everyone for your support, and I hope you like the video. See you later. Rock!
Never again. You say the words and let the sun shine again. You can close your eyes.
And there we have it. That was my version of the Damn Yankees classic, Silence is Broken. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. And thank you, by the way, for the suggestions that I was making a note of on my phone, trying to type them in really quickly, but I think I pretty much got most of them in there. And there have been a few in the super chat window as well, so let's address some of these. So let me just scroll up again, and I did say that I was going to sort out the super chat window, but I was on my phone making notes of all these suggestions. So let me just drag that out a little bit. Aha, and this has now appeared, so I can scroll up a little bit, which is good, and hopefully it's still okay on the screen for you guys as well. And let me just scroll up, and Orlando donated $5, so thank you for that, Orlando. And I don't think I got this far before, but the message was, I wish all Texas-based wingers the best. May you all get everything fixed, become safe, warm, and worry-free. So thank you for that, Orlando. And yes, I think everybody is hoping that all of the things in Texas get figured out. It just sounded like such extreme weather. I'm not sure how extreme the weather still is over there, but just sorting out electricity and internet is something that I think a lot of people take for granted, and when it's not working, and well, electricity is certainly something that's taken for granted. When you get a power cut and just everything goes off, it's amazing how you start to forget how much things use electricity. You think, oh, we've had a power cut, so let's just watch some TV until it's back. Yeah, it's crazy. You just have a candle and you stand there and realise how much we rely on electricity for absolutely everything. And the same thing, this is what always gets me about the internet. When you have a problem with your internet service provider and their suggestion is to go to their website. If you haven't got the internet, you can't go to their website. So yeah, it's amazing how many internet service providers tell you to go to their website when you've got a problem with your internet and just look at the frequently asked questions. Anyway, back into the super chat window, because we have a donation of $5 from Vaybout, so thank you for that. I think I might say yes, I'm not sure. It's a little bit small on the screen to read out, but I haven't seen the username before, so apologies if my pronunciation isn't correct with that. But the message is, Alien Exist, some Steve Stevens Guitar Hero. So thank you for that suggestion. And Steve is one of those guys that has been in touch with me in the past, because I did feature Steve Stevens quite a while ago now, but he got in touch with me over Instagram, which was cool, and a really nice guy. So thank you for that message. And scrolling down, we have Vince, who took over the last live stream, winning another pick and actually giving that pick away in the Zoom call afterwards as well, and also having pictures of him with a snowman or a snow woman. And thank you for that, Vince, and also this $10 donation. The message is, I would suggest Queen of the Murder Scene by The Warning live at a Typical Fest or Atypical Fest 2019. They Don't Block. This is the title song of their second album, a rock opera. So thank you for that, Vince. And I think they have been recording a new album as well. I'm not sure when that's going to be released or if it has been released yet, but that's something that we can keep our eye on as well. The Warning are here, by the way, on the channel somewhere, and I hooked up with them, did a little interview. They were due to come to the UK at the end of last year, but unfortunately with COVID that all had to be cancelled, but hopefully they can make it over to the UK in the future. But thank you for that suggestion, Vince. And Wade has donated $5. Thank you again for that, Wade, and that's a straight up donation. And Lisa has donated $5. Thank you for that, Lisa. The message is, are you able to simply listen to music for enjoyment, or does your brain constantly analyze everything you hear? So that's an interesting question. I very much turn on the analysis. It's like a mental place that I can listen to music, and if it's music that I am into, it's my preferred genre, I can just appreciate the music on a level because I am analysing. I mean, whenever I listen to music, I can't help but analyse it. I think lots of musicians are like that, especially with a particular instrument. So if you play guitar and you play lead guitar, you tend to always listen out for the lead guitar in a particular song, and I'm sure it's the same for drummers and bassists and singers. They're always listening out for these different elements. But if you listen to a song and you just really like it and you're analysing it and you're listening to it and you think, oh wow, that's amazing, that lead guitar solo, and you really love the vocal melody and all that kind of stuff, it just means that you can enjoy it because everything about the song you really like, and you just think it's a totally different level and it's just really well executed. So I think I can enjoy it on that kind of level and just relax because you analyze it and then you feel confident. I think actually, even if you don't play an instrument, even if you just listen to lots of music and you might not be able to sing, or you haven't learned to sing, I say you might not be able to sing. I think everybody can sing. It's just exactly the same as learning to play an instrument. You've got to spend maybe an hour, a couple of hours a day getting your voice used to hitting particular notes and just training your vocal cords to do what you want them to do. But I think anybody that listens to music is analysing it because they know what they like and they know what they don't like. But why do they like one thing and not like another thing unless there's some kind of analysis going on? There is something that they are hooking into or latching onto in a particular song, a particular artist, because of the way that it's performed. Even though they can't explain, they might not have the musical knowledge or the experience to be able to explain why they like it. They just know they like it, and then they know that they don't like something else. And I think that is just a primal analysis of music in general for that particular person, and it's something that appeals to everybody individually. So I think my form of analysis when I'm listening to music is exactly the same as everybody else's form of analysis. It just so happens that I can explain it a little bit because I might play an instrument and I might sing. I might have the knowledge in order to apply that to what I'm hearing, but it still means that I can listen to something and think, oh, I really like that because of those things, in exactly the same way as anybody at home might listen to something and realise that they like it but don't really know why. But that's the great thing about music. Sometimes you just love a song and you don't really know why. It's more to do with the connection, which is really difficult to explain because you can't just write down notes on a piece of paper or musical notation. You can't just write it down and then get two people to express it in exactly the same way, or get somebody to express the way that that person did. They'll sing the same notes, of course, you can do that, but can you get it to feel the same way that that person got it to feel like? And that's the great thing about music. You can have two artists that do the same thing totally differently. And it is something that I'm thinking about in the future, about maybe doing a style of video where guitar players all play over the same backing, and then we can analyze exactly the differences between one person's playing style and another person's playing style, given that they're all using exactly the same notes, but then how they get those notes to sound, because they will all be playing the same notes but they will sound different. So I just thought maybe in the future that's another idea. If I ever get time to start to expand on these ideas, it'll be interesting to get just a bunch of guitarists together to play over the same backing and then look at how and listen to how they all make it sound different. But anyway, that's something for the future, but I'll probably mention that on Patreon in the future, just something that I think would be interesting to do, but we will see. But anyway, thank you so much for that donation, Lisa, and the question. And Amy has donated $9.99 as well. Thank you for that, Amy. And it's the guy saying thank you. So no problem. Thank you for that donation. And William has donated $5. Thank you for that, William. The message is, Phil, come see us in New Orleans sometime I'll take you to my favourite local music bars. So, sounds good to me. Hopefully at some point in the future, fingers crossed, I can get over to the USA. I know that maybe in the last live stream, or maybe a couple of live streams ago, we were talking about places to visit in the USA, or places that I would live, and Florida came to the top of the list, but also going to places like California, Nashville, New Orleans as well would be cool places to go to. Texas, all of these different places that I'll put a little mark by if I get over to the USA, but hopefully at some point in the future it will be possible. But thank you for that, William. And Paul has donated $5 again. Thank you for this, Paul. And the message is, hello wingers, hi Phil. Do you have a favorite brand of strings, and what sizes do you typically use? So thank you for that. And I don't have the particular set that I normally use, but we have some power slinkies there, Ernie Ball of course, and I usually use super slinkies, Ernie Ball super slinkies, so you can check those out if you want to. That's my own preferred brand, and I think that's just because I started using them when I was very young, and because they were lighter, they were 9-gauge strings, so they were slightly easier to play. And by the way, it's just reminded me, Daniel Donato, who was on the channel, we did an In at the Deep End together, and I also featured his playing in an analysis video. His name is on the back of Ernie Ball strings, and it's something that I saw on his Instagram, that his name has been added to that because he uses Ernie Ball strings as well. So that's a really cool little fact, so that Daniel has got his name on there, which is great as well to have as an independent artist, because I always say on this channel about staying independent, keeping the rights to your music. It is possible to have a career and make money from music without having a multi-million pound recording contract, and Daniel's a great example of that. Just a guy who sells his music, gets out there, gigs as much as possible, but is into the social media side as well, promoting himself. And yes, his name is on the back of those Ernie Ball string packets, so that's great as well. I just thought I'd throw that in there because it's great to have a friend of the channel who is doing really well as well, and especially in that independent sense, which is something that I've mentioned about The Warning as well previously, who we've already mentioned on the live stream tonight as well, with a new album. So it is all good. So let's get back into the super chat window, because Vince has donated $10 again. Thank you for that, Vince. The message is, yes, The Warning's third album has been recorded and is now in post-production at Lava Records, who signed them last year. So thank you for that, Vince. So it sounds like they've done all the recording, all the mixing, and the post-production. Either that's going to be final tweaks to mixing or the final stage of mastering, which all albums will be going through. So that'd be interesting to see when that is going to be out. And it might be something that we can feature in the future. Maybe get the girls on the channel again to chat about it. That would be cool as well. So yeah, I'll keep you guys up to date as to what is going on. But don't be surprised if you see another video in the future, because it's always great, again, coming from that place of being an independent band and really just having a great team around them as a band. And I know that they've got a really supportive family unit as well, which are part of that team. So they are really just doing things straight down the line, and fingers crossed, just going to be able to go from one stage to the next stage and keep on growing, because they've definitely got the potential to do that. And the fact that they've waited to sign a record deal, it just shows you that you can get a record deal with a label that are on your side and will sign to preferable terms, because generally it's going to be the independent labels that do that. They are just in it for the music rather than the big labels, and it's going to always, unfortunately, be about money with the big labels, and the big name labels really are under pressure to make the money back, whatever they put into any band. So it means that if you don't sell as much as they thought that you would, then the pressure's really on, and it's a lot better just to be able to make music for music's sake, for the enjoyment, because if you enjoy making music, it will be good because you're enjoying it. People will pick up on that. If you're starting to make music because you feel under pressure and the label's pressuring you to record an album and sell more, then that's always going to take its toll. So yeah, it's great that the Warning have done it in that particular way. Also that Daniel Donato's doing that as well, so it's all good. So thank you for that, Vince. And Sue has donated $20. Thank you for that, Sue. It's a straight up donation. Linda Z has donated $5. Thank you for that, Linda. The message is: so we all know what your favorite music genre is. Do you have a second favorite? So thank you for that, Linda Z. And I would say, well, probably my preferred genre, I mean, getting into the details of it, would be melodic hard rock, which is probably more like Mr. Mister, which I think maybe some people would describe as pop rock. So if I had to choose a second genre, it would probably have rock in there, but it would be pop rock, maybe metal. I don't tend to get too much into heavy metal, but there is a bit of a crossover between heavy metal and metal. A lot of people think that hard rock is metal, so you've got a bit of a crossover there, but I'd say that melodic hard rock are bands that are slightly heavier. If you know Mr. Mister as a band, you will probably get to appreciate the fact that the melodic components of the hard rock have a pop element to it. This is something about trying to put bands into genres. It's an art, so it means that every band since the beginning of time have never said to themselves, right, let's write a hard rock song, and what is hard rock, and how do we classify what we're going to write, which chords are we allowed to use with the progressions that you can use in hard rock. It never works out that way. Just bands and artists are artists. They're making art. So then whatever they make, they put out there, and then pretty much the media and publications will put the genre on top of them. So they'll say, oh, they're a hard rock band, or they're a pop rock band, or even they're a pop band. And sometimes you'll get that about bands that are rock bands have been called pop bands and vice versa. So yeah, it's very difficult to describe it, but I'd say pretty much if you're looking to put a label on a type of music, melodic hard rock is what I'm into. And I would say pop rock, if I just had to get rid of the rock altogether, then it would probably be pop, because that's what I listen to a lot and my parents had a lot in the car. Probably classic Motown as well, some of the Motown hits, so you could throw Motown in there. And I think pop and Motown probably are equal for what I listened to as a kid. And yeah, again, a lot of people would consider Motown pop because it was popular. And this is the other thing, that how do you start to put that popular genre of pop? I mean, you could class anything as pop if it is popular. So yeah, it's very difficult. But yeah, I would go for probably melodic hard rock as my first go-to that I listen to. Probably pop equal with Motown. And I'm totally ruling out all of the rock. So by saying melodic hard rock, it means that I'm not saying classic rock, because it still has rock in the title, but I would probably go for hard rock, classic rock, all the same. I mean, you can tell probably from my hair that I would choose that anyway. But thank you so much for that, Linda Z. And Huck has donated $4.99. Thank you for that. The message is, I think Billy Gibbons uses super slinkies. So thank you for that little bit of information. And it's something that I mentioned sometimes in videos about string gauges and some players that use heavy gauge strings, and other guys like BB King, for example, using really light gauge strings. And back in the day, players used to use banjo strings, or should I say a banjo string on their high E string, which would have made it very thin in order to make it easier to bend. So that's where these string gauges all came from. The old school players who used to use those banjo strings on their guitars. So yeah, interesting stuff, but thank you for that little bit of information. And you can start to get different gauges on your strings. You'll be able to see maybe skinny top, thick bottom, something like that. I'm not sure if that's actually the name of the Ernie Ball strings that they make, but it's exactly what it sounds like. So it means they have the thinner gauge strings matched with the thicker gauge strings on the bottom end for riffs and stuff like that to really thicken it out, but then have the higher strings a little bit easier to bend. So yeah, you can mix and match. As you will see with Ernie Ball strings, you get lots of different colours. You can get yellow and blue, and they're colour-coded, so that's why I said that Super Slinkies are the pink packet, and the one that I held up was the purple packet, and they tend to be, let me see what we've got on here. These are the Power Slinkies, so the 11 is the high E string. That'll be heavier on your fingers. If you're just starting to play, probably just go for 9s. You can even get 8s. They're called Extra Slinkies. Ernie Ball Extra Slinky. If you want to start with an 8, which will be a lot easier to bend. So, whatever your preference. Like I said, some of the top blues guys were playing with really light strings. So don't worry at all about getting an 8 on your high E string. It is really down to you how much you want your guitar to be playable versus tone. It's always that trade-off, as to having heavier strings will give you a slightly heavier and fuller tone, but that's something I mentioned about Stevie Ray Vaughan and the fact that he used to have 13s on his high E string. Just crazy, or just 13s being so heavy. He did detune, by the way, to E flat, so it meant that the tension wasn't as dramatic as he will have just tuning to standard tuning, but having that E flat meant that he could bend it a little bit more easily. But 13s are still a mighty heavy string, so he just had monster hands. Anyway, thank you for that donation, Huck, and Orlando has donated $2. Thank you for that again. The message is, do you have a favourite movie's soundtrack? And it depends whether we're talking about a classical based soundtrack such as Jurassic Park. I've mentioned about John Williams and his composing ability, so I really like, Jurassic Park, of course, just as a movie, but the soundtrack, Indiana Jones. Let me try and think of, Star Wars. All of these soundtracks are standalone. Superman as well, which interestingly compares Superman to Star Wars, and you can see John's thought process of how he came up with one and then how he came up with the other, and those two really do share a lot of similarities from a composing perspective, the way that he's approached the Superman theme and the Star Wars theme. But anyway, I'm sure somebody's compared those two on the internet at some point because they're really similar, but again, they each have their totally different, unique personality and the sound. You're never going to confuse one with the other. So yeah, really interesting from a compositional standpoint with those two themes. Let me think. I'm sure there's probably other themes that John Williams has done that I haven't mentioned, that I have mentioned in other live streams. But as a soundtrack, probably Back to the Future. Just because, Huey Lewis in the News, you've got to throw that in there. So I'm trying to think of maybe Top Gun as well. Van Halen is on that. So yeah, I could be here all night, but it's always going to be probably 80s soundtracks that I go for, because those soundtracks include a lot of the bands that I listened to when I was young and continue to. So yeah, that's what I would mention. It is something that I could talk about for a very long time, but I'm trying to think of, I know that there's a John Williams soundtrack or theme that I haven't mentioned so far, and there is something that my brain wants to throw out there, but yeah, it's not doing that for me at the moment. So I'll see if it comes to me later on in a live stream, or in this live stream, I don't know, but in a future one. So anyway, thank you, Orlando, for that. We have Karen, who has donated $5. Thank you for that, Karen. And the message is, hi Phil, if I'm not mistaken, a semi-acoustic guitar is called and acoustic electric in the USA. Thanks for teaching and reminding me musically, Karen. So thank you for that, Karen. And yes, it is. This is it, that you can call an electroacoustic guitar a semi-acoustic guitar. It's just exactly the same thing, so don't get confused by that. And sometimes, yeah, we do call it the same here. Just depends which term you happen to have chosen when you're explaining it. But thank you for that, Karen. And Lucy has donated $4.99. Thank you for that, Lucy. The message is 90 thumbs up to reach the likes goal for the pick roulette. If you haven't, please hit that thumbs up. Thank you, fellow wingers. So thank you for that announcement, Lucy. And we are at 295, which means that we have 70, I do believe, to get to tonight's likes goal. So maybe it's 80. So there have been 10 likes since that post by Lucy. So thank you guys for hitting that thumbs up. And also Lucy for mentioning that. I think a lot of people maybe hit that thumbs up because of that donation. So thank you so much for that. And we are going to be maybe jumping into the pictures now. We do have a couple to look at. We don't have a pick roulette tonight. Unfortunately, we didn't hit the target last week, so we will see if we can do it tonight and get another one next week. But no spin, no lucky winners tonight. But we do have a couple of pictures, so let me get the background up on screen and let me see if I can find the pictures. I have to go to a slightly different place in order to find these. But first of all, this is a picture that is a drawing by Beverly. And thank you for uploading this, Beverly. And I would say that is a pretty good effort. Of course, if it is me, that is just amazingly well done. So thank you, Beverly, for not only drawing this but uploading it, and what a very complimentary portrait it is as well. Sometimes there are some that aren't so complimentary, but I mean, I'll take any portrait. If anybody wants to draw a picture of me, even a stick man with long hair, that's fine. So thank you so much for that, Beverly, and for doing such a great job with that particular drawing. And it looks like I'm not sure whether it was just in pencil or I mean, it looks like it could be in pencil, so I'm gonna go for that. I don't know a lot about art, but thank you so much for doing that. And this is Kevin's watch. A lot of you might think that this has been photoshopped, and if it has been photoshopped, it would have been very good. But I know that it hasn't been photoshopped. So this is Kevin with his special watch. I don't know which kind of watch it is, but I think Vince did mention it. I just haven't remembered. Where you can put your own screenshot, or what would it be called? Like a wallpaper, I guess, on PC. You can have your own wallpaper on the watch, and Kevin has gone for the Wings of Pegasus logo there. So it's the first ever Wings of Pegasus watch. So thank you so much for that, Kevin, for making that your wallpaper or background on your watch, and it does look pretty good. Even if I do say so myself, I really need to get a watch that I can do that on, because then I can get fully merched up once I have my cap, t-shirt, zip up hoodie and everything else. So we'd have like a watch, and it seems like it didn't quite disappear there in time, but then it did in the end. So we have the zip up hoodie, the cap, the t-shirt, which I've got on, so that's okay, and the watch, which isn't an official thing. You can't really buy a watch. I have been emailed by Stephanie over at Teespring, which is now Spring, about other things that they do on Teespring, which is now Spring, in order to offer more merchandise. I'll have a little look into that. Something like water bottles or something. I think that was the last email I had, that was a kind of bottle that keeps your drink cold or keeps it warm. So it's almost like a thermos, but it isn't. I think it keeps it warm or cold for a few hours. But I was interested in that purely because sometimes, if ever, I'm allowed out again because of COVID, but if the restrictions are lifted and I do go out, say for example, I might have an opportunity, fingers crossed at some point, to play golf again. When you take a drink with you, you might want to keep it warm just for a few hours, which would be ideal for if you're just doing 9 holes or something and you're just out there for like an hour or an hour and a half. You could have a cup of tea or maybe keep your orange squash cold. Anyway, I was looking at that. That was one of the items that was mentioned, or at least was highlighted in that particular email. But I'll let you guys know as to what merchandise is being added and what is available in the coming months and weeks, and I'll always keep you guys updated on Patreon. I always tend to do an update even if there isn't a video that particular night, just letting you guys know what I'm up to. But anyway, thank you so much for that donation. Lucy and Huck has donated again, and this is $4.99. Thank you for that. The message is, I love your choice of soundtracks. I think the 80s are underrated, and I agree. Just from the point of view of movies and the different types of movies you got, but just the scripts, just the ideas for movies, because so many movies now are redone. I mean, especially 80s movies. They then re-release them with new actors and with another soundtrack because it was just a good idea for a movie in the first place. By the way, I've just remembered that I spoke about Donal Logue the other week, was it maybe? The time flies past really quickly, but I mentioned about Donal and his book. Did I mention about his book? Anyway, I've been talking to Donal. He's a friend of the channel, and he's finished his book now, which is called Trejo. And I think this is the autobiography, or it's written about his friend, which is Danny Trejo, who is an actor, and you might know him from different movies. I think he was in Desperado as the guy that you'll know him as soon as you see him. He's just the guy that you do not mess with. He's just got that look. And yeah, it's something that has been worked on by Donal over the last 2 or 3 years, I think. But he's now finished his book, and Donal's sending me an early copy of it. I was going to say a copy, but I don't think it's fully been released yet. But he's going to be sending me a copy. I'll be digging into that because it looks like a really good read. Even though I don't read much, it's certainly a book that I am going to have a little read through because, from what I've heard so far of it, it's just almost like an unbelievable story, but it is an actual true story, and I wouldn't be surprised in the future if a movie is made out of the book and the overall story. So I just remembered that when we're talking about movies and soundtracks. So yeah, it's something that I did mention about Donald a few weeks ago. But anyway, thank you, Huck, for that donation. And Orlando has donated $10 as well. Thank you for that. And just while I mention about, I think, is it Danny Elfman, something like that, that did the Batman theme, and I think Danny did that. I'm pretty sure, but anyway, that is another theme that I like, and I'm talking about the 80s Batman, Michael Keaton. And if you watch that movie, listen to the composition in the background. All of the music throughout the whole movie is something that I actually got the soundtrack from that movie just to listen to the different themes that go on throughout that particular movie. But anyway, that's the original Batman with Michael Keaton, so look out for that as a classic 80s movie. And I just think that 80s movies are really good. And I just really like the music that went with it, whether it be a theme or songs of bands that were just great, that suited it so well. And Jack Nicklaus as well, playing the Joker in that movie. I know that actually, I don't think he originally wanted to do the movie because he thought it might be too comical and he might get typecast as a comedian kind of thing after that. But for that kind of mainstream movie, he did such a great job with that role. But anyway, let's get away from movies. Orlando has donated $10 again. Thank you, Orlando. The message is, for your information, the soundtrack to Vision Quest is my favourite. Don Henley, Dio, Sammy Hagar, Maradona, that'd be interesting if he sang on a soundtrack, Madonna, and The Style Council, all on the same record, Lunatic Fringe, by Red Rider is the best song on the record. So thank you for that, Orlando, and for listing all of the artist names, and especially Madonna, because this is what happens when it's small and I read too quickly. I don't know why that came out as Maradona, but like I said, it would have been interesting. Paul has donated $10 as well. Thank you for this, Paul. The message is, hi Phil, one more guitar question. How do you feel about semi-hollow body electric guitars like a Gibson ES335 or the sound of an Epiphone Casino? So thank you for that, Paul. And this is something I've never really, personally, I haven't ever owned either of those guitars, but also I've never owned a semi-hollow bodied guitar, so I can't really compare it tone-wise to my electric guitar and acoustic guitar. So yeah, it's something that I've never gone from or made that transition over from being able to hear the fully electric guitar and then having the difference between the hollow body. So yeah, I can't really comment on that in terms of having any feelings about it. I think that as a player, you need to really tested out the guitar, played it quite a lot to be able to formally or have an informed opinion about the difference between the two, whereas I haven't had that, unfortunately. So thank you for that, Paul. And it's not something that I can really comment on firsthand, but thank you for the donation. And Shawnee Keys in the house and has donated $5. Thank you for that. The message is, Danny Elfman did the score for the 1989 Batman movie and Prince did the soundtrack. So thank you for that, Shawnee Key. And it's good that my my brain has the information in there, and I was second guessing that maybe it wasn't Danny, but I was pretty sure that it was. So thank you for making sure that that is a certified correct statement and for confirming it. And also Prince on the soundtrack, another great example of a movie with an artist on there who is just immense in his own right. And I remember that when they have the carnival type thing in the movie, actually it's not really a carnival because that's when the Joker is releasing his poisonous gas. But anyway, so that's I know that Prince is playing, and that's when Jack Nicklaus is performing. And Nicholas Nicholson, did I say Nicholas before? Jack Nicklaus is a golfer, so I don't know whether I said that before. Again, so we can have Maradona on a soundtrack and we can have Jack Nicklaus in Batman. Wow, that would have been very entertaining. But yeah, I think, I'm not sure. Maybe wind it back. See if I said Jack Nicklaus and see if anybody noticed that. I probably didn't. I just thrown that in there now. I'm going to blame the golf chap earlier on for that particular name popping into my head, but what a golfer he was. Anyway, so Jack Nicholson, the way that he played the Joker in that was amazing. I'm sure I maybe got that right, fingers crossed. But anyway, thank you Jill as well, who's just popped in there for with a $10 donation. Thank you for that, Jill. And the message is, hey Phil, I always like the American Graffiti soundtrack, older music, but it's fun to listen to. And thank you for that, Jill. It does tend to be a trend nowadays that more modern films are going all the way back and getting some classic 70s and 60s songs on their movies, because I don't know, it just sounds cool. And I think people are starting to twig that that was a golden age of music that hasn't really been equaled, and they start to prefer the songs of yesteryear rather than going for things that are in the charts now. So it is interesting how movies nowadays are starting to make that switch over from a soundtrack perspective. But anyway, thank you for that, Jill. And Bara7331 has donated $5. Thank you for that. And the message is, an underrated Michael Keaton movie was Night Shift in 1982. So thank you for that. Maybe a little top tip there for people if you're into movies to check that one out. And Laura has donated $4.99. Thank you for that. The message is, for the new wingers, will you talk about getting a guitar given to you by Fender? I've always thought that was so cool. So thank you for that, Laura. And for any new people, hello. Thank you for joining me. on these live streams as well. Introduce yourself in that live chat room. That's how everybody starts out, just saying hi, and yeah, then we get to know each other, and a great community feel in the live chat room. Huge shout out to the moderators as well for doing such a great job throughout these live streams. And if you can hit that thumbs up as you come through the door, or whether you've been here in the live chat room for a while, that would be much appreciated. We are aiming for 365 tonight. It's already 20 past 1 here in the morning. I don't know how these live streams just seem to disappear. We're going to have to call it to a close relatively soon, because I need to start looking at the suggestions for tomorrow night's live analysis and start jumping into what we're going to be looking at tomorrow night. So thank you, Laura, for this. And yes, so Fender invited me, I'm not sure how long ago it was now, but they are fans of the channel and liked what I did. They asked me to go down to Fender in London, which was really cool, to hang out there, look at lots of the guitars, get to play a lot of guitars as well. And they gave me a Fender, and this is the Performer Series Strat, which is just crazy kind of them in the first place, but also asked me how I wanted it, the colors, and yeah, the color that obviously I'm a bit of a pain, so the colors that I wanted they didn't have, so they had to make it up specially for me, which is amazing. Then had it sent to me from the factory, so a massive thank you to Fender for doing that. And this is the other thing that they have said in the past about just getting in contact if they want me to send, or I want them to send me a guitar or an amp, or look at some different effects, anything. Just get in touch and they'll send it over. But I'm the kind of person that I don't really I feel like just a guitar is good enough. They don't have to send me anything else. It's absolutely fine, and I'll just keep using their guitar for, I mean, it just so happens that it's a really nice guitar to play as well, and the tone works so well for hard rock as well as blues, and just going super clean. As you guys will know, on my live analysis videos I've used it, but also on the standard analysis videos I've used it for heavier genres. For example, Tool. We were looking at them, and I had the Fender out, and I just put on a bit of overdrive on the Line 6 amp, and it worked really well, and you got a really nice heavy tone from just going through my Performer Series Strat, so, and the Line 6 amp. So it was great, and I do use the Mustang amp that Fender sent me that as well, so that was great. So a lot of people do ask me about the tone that I get with the Performer Series Strat, and that is the Fender Mustang 25 LG 25. In order to get that same tone, it's going to be the Tortured Telly, which is preset number 27. If you want the exact same tone that I use on a lot of the analysis videos, then that's the place to go to. So yeah, that was great to get an endorsement from Fender, because I'm just a huge fan of the guitars, and my first proper electric guitar was technically a Tanglewood, but I say proper first guitar was a Fender Strat, because yeah, that was the one that properly cost a lot, and was one of those that I thought, wow, because Jimi Hendrix played a white Strat, and then I got a white Strat, is amazing. So yeah, that was great. So that's why you do see my Strat and the Fender Performance Strat, and actually it's just here. I can reach over and grab it. So there we go, that is the guitar that Fender sent me. So a massive thank you again to them. Anyway, thank you, Laura, for that donation and that message. And Chilled Aussie has donated $5. Thank you for that. The message is, hi Phil, my favourite band is Metallica. I was wondering what your thoughts are on Kirk Hammett's skill as a guitarist. So thank you for that. And I do believe I have a whole video on Kirk, and where I explain that. So if you type in British guitarist, analysis, and Kirk Hammett, just put that all in the search window, you should, if it hasn't been blocked on copyrights, you should be able to find that particular video. And there I do get into it. Obviously, I'm going to be able to explain a lot more in the video than I have time to do on the live stream. Like I said, I'm going to call things to a close really soon. And it looks like we are at 344 likes. So I think we're going to be close, but we're not quite going to make it to the likes goal for tonight, which is set at 365, because we're looking for another 21 people in order to hit that thumbs up and hit our target. I don't think that's going to be possible because it's now 25 past 1. So we are going to have to call it to a close very soon. And Lila has donated $20 as well. And the message says, "You are amazing," with the guy doing his little dance. So thank you so much for that, Lila, and for all the donations tonight. What I'm going to do is see if on my phone I can do a search for the Kirk Hammett video. This is something that I've never done before, in order to see if, obviously you can do this if you want to, but I'm going to type it into my phone to see if it shows up, because sometimes they do get blocked on copyrights, and this is a good way for me to check. So it is not showing up, so it might be the fact that it's been blocked on copyrights. I might have, maybe it's Metallica that was in the title, but let's have a look. I know that I have done a video. There we go. So it is on there. So you have to include Metallica in the search. So type in Wings of Pegasus, British Guitarist Analysis, Metallica, and then you'll find it. Those are the words in order to find the video. So thank you everybody for joining me tonight, and all of the donations in that super chat window. It looks like we're going to be close, but we're not going to quite make it. It would be another 11 likes in order to get to the like total. We've probably got, what, maximum 4 minutes in order to get to the likes total. I'm going to extend. So just to point out as well, that if tomorrow's live analysis is rubbish, it's because I'm extending the live stream a little bit tonight, so it means I have less time to do any prep for that, as well as the other messages and emails. So just bracing you for that eventuality tomorrow night. If you do tune in, it could be a nightmare, but this is because we're going to extend tonight's live stream just a little bit. So I'm going to play a video. Let's have a little look over on Patreon in order to see what was requested. Donna was straight in there with We Can Fall Down. That's just one that I might just pick because we're up against it time-wise. And Joan right at the bottom of the page as well requested We Can Fall Down. So let's have a little look at that. And I'll see you guys after. Keep on hitting that thumbs up because we're in a race against time. We're looking for 9 thumbs up to hit the target, or 14 to get to the pick roulette for next week. So we've probably got 3 or 4 minutes. Let's play this video, see where we end up. Rock!
What am I supposed to be? I gotta try.
And there we have it. That was my song called We Can Fall Down. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. You can pick that song up and lots of other songs over at wingsofpegasus.com/music if you want to pick up my album and individual songs or just anything merchandise wise as well. There's a link there to Teespring, which is now Spring, and also Carla's merchandise is over on the website as well, wingsofpegasus.com. So it looks like we made it right at the end, so thank you everyone for hitting that thumbs up. We are at 377. If you're watching this in the future on catch up, you can still hit that thumbs up. It all really does help this live stream to get out there, but for the channel to grow on the whole and get the other videos out there as well. So thank you guys so much. Now, really importantly, just a point to make for the future, when you have tagged Carla or when you're trying to get your name on the roulette wheel, you have to tag Carla's name and also type I agree in capital letters just once. That is it. And if you type more than that, then you will get taken off the wheel. Make sure you just do it once. And I mean, a good test is to just watch the live chat room. If your name goes through there, then you know that you'll be on that wheel. And I'm going to type out now live an example of at Carla Murray. Oh look, it even gives you it even shows up Carla so that you can click on it and then it tags her and then type I agree in capital letters, optional exclamation mark, and also optional thumbs up, but I don't use the emoticons because it takes ages to load. So if I press enter, that you can see hopefully going through the live chat room relatively soon, you'll see how you should do it in order to get your name on the pick roulette wheel, because I know that a lot of people maybe didn't know the protocol, but wait for it because it should be coming through here. If obviously other people have got a comment for it to go up through the screen. Here we go. There it is. That's what it should look like. So there, at Carla Murray, and you actually get the option, but you can just type it in and then type I agree, and that's going to make it a lot easier for Carla to get the names and put them on the wheel, because when things go wrong, if she doesn't get the live chat replayed, she then has to watch all of the comments and go through them and just try and see all of the I agree. So just to make it a little bit easier for Carla to get it organised. But anyway, that is that. And I know that a lot of people are now trying to type I agree. So, and make sure you tag Carla and copy exactly what I did. So you have to do the @ symbol and then Carla space Murray. So make sure you get her second name in there, not just @ Carla, but you have to have her full name and then type I agree after that tag. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm sure in the future it'll make more sense as people get more used to it, but that's just the way to do it, to make sure your name gets on that pick roulette wheel, which we will be doing next week. So thank you everyone for hitting that thumbs up. Thank you for the donations as well. Just by the way, Stan has donated $2 and says cool, with the guy doing a hand gesture which I can't see, but it's probably something similar to some rock horns. Thank you for that, Stan. And Patty has donated $2.99. The message is, you love pizza, Chinese, any classic Brit food, you heart with a question mark. So classic British food, probably bangers and mash, which is just sausages and mashed potato. I have sweet potato mash, and yeah, lots of tomato ketchup on it as well, and maybe some beans, some Heinz beans, which is like beans and tomato sauce. So yeah, that's I think something that's British that we have here. I do like fish and chips, but I can't eat fish and chips, unfortunately, because it's white potato, which I can't have, and also fish, which I like, but I can't have it because my body doesn't like it. So yeah, that's what I have to go for, just bangers and mash if I was choosing a British food. So thank you for that, Patty, and we are going to be calling it to a close now. So thank you everyone for joining me tonight and for the suggestions for tomorrow's live analysis. I'll have a little look through, see if I can find one that's going to be applicable or doable for tomorrow night, as tonight's gone on a little bit longer. Tomorrow night's live analysis is maybe not going to be very well planned, but we will see what happens. If you want to see how it goes, tune in at 12 midnight Greenwich Mean Time tomorrow night, the same time that this live stream started. Everything that happens live on the channel happens at the same time. On Tuesday, Wednesday and Saturday, it's always 12 midnight Greenwich Mean Time. So I'll hopefully see you guys then. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. If I don't see you tomorrow night, I'll see you on Friday's analysis video or on Saturday night's live stream. So have a great rest of the week and try and stay as safe as possible. Wear those masks. And hopefully we can get things back to normal relatively soon. But thank you for joining me, guys. And I will catch you guys at the next one. Rock!